Hi, I'm Al, and in this edition of Summit Racing Quick Flicks, I'm going to show you how to change spark plugs on a modular motor for these late model F-150s, specifically plugs number 4 and 8. So one of the things with these late model modular V8 Ford F-150s is that they have special purpose-built plugs designed by Ford, and that means they need a special purpose-built tool to remove and install them. Right here I have the OTC 6900 spark plug installation and removal tool. It's going to make installing and removing these spark plugs a lot easier. One of the key features of this tool is that it's a thin wall socket. A lot of your socket sets actually come with a 9/16 spark plug removal socket. However, that's not going to fit in the cylinder head of these modular motors. You need a thinner wall socket to make sure that you can fit and reach the hex nut of these spark plugs. So let's go under the hood of this truck and I'll show you how to remove them. One of the first things that you're going to want to do is give yourself some room within the engine bay. It's a truck, and so obviously has a lot of space, but we need to get to the plugs that are down here. So I'm going to start by going ahead and removing this K&N air filter kit. That way it'll give us a little more working space here. So the next step into changing your spark plugs on these modular motors is, after you've cleared some space for yourself to work in, you want to make sure the engine is nice and cool. You got to make sure this is nice and cool, because as the engine warms up, the heads expand and actually grip onto that spark plug a little tighter. So to make things easier for you, so you don't break spark plugs, make sure it's nice and cool. Next thing you're going to do is you're going to grab a 7mm socket, and you're going to come over to the plug and start to loosen up the bolt on the plug itself. And once you've done that, you can go ahead and then unplug the coil. Now the coil has a little tab at the top of the plug here. Go ahead and squeeze that, and the plug should come off of the coil, and then you can go ahead and pull the coil out from on top of the spark plug. So now I have my OTC 6900, and like I mentioned before, it has a thin wall, so that way it can reach down into the spark plug socket there. I did have to add a little extension so that way I can clear the fuel rail here, but once we get it down in there, I can go ahead and loosen it up, and I can pull out my spark plug to change them. Now, one additional tip: if you are having trouble actually removing your spark plug, if it's stuck, you don't want to apply too much torque because you'll end up actually cracking the spark plug. One recommended way to loosen things up is to actually spray a little carb cleaner down in there and let things set. And then, after a couple hours, go back and try it again. You can do that twice. If you do it any more than twice, you run the risk of actually hydrolocking the cylinder, and that's when the fluid in the cylinder actually creates more combustion pressure than what the cylinder can handle, and you'll end up damaging your engine. So what you can do after that is remove, after you've done it twice and the spark plug won't come out, remove all of the spark plugs that you can. Turn the engine over a couple times without actually starting it to clear out all of that carb cleaner. So now, with our new spark plug, it's a simple process of reversing the removal Using the tool, we'll just go ahead, start to get it started. And remember, because this is an aluminum cylinder head, you want to make sure that the threads are going in correctly. If you feel that things are binding, you do want to go ahead, back it out and start all over again. Another tip is you may want to actually put anti-seize on the threads, so that way the next time you have to do this, it's a little easier and it makes removal a much simpler process. Now finally, the last thing you want to do is you want to make sure that you don't over torque these. The recommended spec is 14 pounds, so it's not too tight. We can go ahead and install our coil and we're all set to go. As you can see, the OTC 6900 spark plug removal tool came in real handy. It reached down into the spark plug well, made things nice and easy. I'll include a link to the spark plug removal tool in the description down below. Now, if you happen to actually break one of these spark plugs off, there's a Lisle tool that Summit Racing carries, and I'll include a link to that below as well, to help you go ahead and remove what is left of the spark plug without damaging the cylinder head. Now, if you have any other questions, I'd really love to hear them. Feel free to leave a comment in the comment section below. Remember to hit subscribe to stay up to date on our latest quick flick videos, and be sure to watch some of our other videos. Thanks for watching.